Welcome back to another edition of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and this time we're looking at the Goko White No. 1 Nashiji Gyuto 210mm knife. This line of knives has a core steel of Shidogami or white paper No. 1 Hitachi reactive carbon steel. The heat treat's about 60 Rockwell, somewhat conservative, and that means they're a little more forgiving, so this is a great line of knives to get into handcrafted Japanese steel. The construction is a stainless textured cladding on either side of that core steel for a 3-layer sandwich. So that means just the core steel exposed at the edge is reactive. The rest of the blade is stainless for a little bit easier maintenance. And the finish on these, on the cladding, is what's known as a Nashiji or pear skin, kind of a mottled finish. We'll get a look at that close up in a second. The dimensions and such will vary just a little bit from knife to knife on these since they are all handmade, but this one has a weight of about 6.1 ounces, 175 grams. The edge length on this one is about 211 millimeters, and that can vary. Some will be a little longer than that, some will not. The overall length, about 14.3 inches. The spine thickness on this one, coming out of the handle above the back of the blade, is about 3.1 millimeters, and then it kind of just gradually shrinks down almost continuously. It's kind of a nice taper till you get towards the grind, and it thins out nicely at the tip. These do have really pretty nice performing tips on them. The blade height is 51.5, so fairly generous for a 210. Again, that'll vary a little bit from knife to knife. And this is the new handle they're putting on these. So this is the octagonal walnut black packawood ferrule handle. It's got nice fit and finish to it. You can feel a little bit of a bump there between the packawood and the walnut, but it's not much, and you could clean that up a little if you felt like it. This one, the handle is pretty big. I don't know if Mark will be shrinking these down a little bit. This one, to be honest, he's going to hate me saying this, but it almost feels like a Deba handle. It's 83 millimeters in circumference, 3¼ inches. I think it's a little oversized for this, but we'll see. Maybe they'll start putting more normal 76 millimeter type handles on these. So check it out, later on in the product page. You might be changing these up a little bit. So you might want to put some sealer or beeswax or epoxy or something in that tang area, because some of these do have a little bit of a gap there, so just the moisture doesn't get in there. Let's take a look at the balance point. The handle's a little bit heavier because it's a little bit bigger in circumference, so balance point brings that back just a little bit, and so pretty close to the pinch grip for me. Let's take a close-up look at the texture of the blade. They do have hand-chiseled kanji. So there's your kanji, and here's the kind of mottled pear skin or Nashiji finish on it. These have a refined rustic feel to them and aesthetic. They're not quite as nice fit and finish as, let's say, a Masakage Yuki, but again, kind of a refined rustic. You can see the core steel peeking through. These don't have like a sandblasted type frost to the grind of the blade, to the blade road, so you get more of a natural, subtle feel of the cladding coming into the core steel. And that core steel will patina and darken over time and give you a nice contrast there. Fit and finish on the blade is really quite nice in terms of comfort. It's not super polished or anything, but they relieve the spine just a little bit, as well as the back of the blade, the choil into the neck, and so they're quite comfortable right out of the box. This one had a pretty nice edge on it. They do a pretty nice job on their edges out of the box, and so I'll give this one a 5 or 6 out of 10. With some stropping, this will get really sharp really fast, and almost nothing sharpens as easily as Shidogami No. 1 steel. So this thing will make you a sharpening champ compared to a lot of, especially cheaper stainless steels. So even if you're fairly new to sharpening, this is it's great to sharpen on this type of steel. It's amazing how well it sharpens and gets really stinking sharp pretty easily. So let's take a look at the profile. These are ground fairly thin at the edge as well, so these are nice performing knives. There are no slouches in the performance category, and a lot of value for the price that they're at. Here's the profile on this one. And these profiles will vary a little bit from knife to knife, but this one actually backs down into a bit of a flat spot towards the heel, and then kind of a gentle belly in the front half of the blade. It's pretty smooth flowing into that. And then I can get fairly high on this before the tip starts digging in, about right there. So this knife actually has got kind of some different sections to it. It's got a flat heel area, gentle curve throughout, and so you could use this for quite a wide variety of techniques. So these are this is a good solid line of knives. They've been around the Chef Knives to Go site for quite a while, and they're recommended frequently for good reasons. So there you have the Goko Shitogami #1 Nashiji Gyuto 210mm knife.